Bad Newton. Bad Newton. My glue fell over, and gallons, I tell you, gallons of it spilled onto my desk and onto my floor, and who knows what all. Anyway, so here's a portrait of a little typist who used the Underwood typewriter and got an award for it, which I cut apart and turned it into a portrait of the young lady with fancy earrings, rather overdone mascara, and an overbite. She also, the original Bella, I don't even know her last name now, got a second award from the Remington people, not nearly as fancy as the first one, except this one was engraved. This one was just offset printed. This one you can feel the engraved lines. I turned into a sort of an angry young man with baby teeth and red eyes. These are normally a little bigger than I'm showing here. When I started making these, I've only made a half dozen or so. They were quite large, as you can see. In fact, this guy, it's another guy. This guy. This is the one that should be talking to those two, the overbite and the baby teeth, because he's a dental examiner. This one was an old Indiana school diploma that has been worn, yellowed with age, and water stained, and it reminded me of Gorbachev's blood stain, whatever they're called, birthmark things. So he has a rather strange nose and eyebrows, but anyway, they're interesting how the shapes of these diplomas lead to certain, lead me to think in a certain way. Like this diploma here has, I don't know what it has, where I'm going to go with this one. I'm trying to find eyeballs. Eyeballs are really the first thing I look at for, because if I can't find suitable eyeballs, and using an O, I've done that so many times with all of the products, the objects I've been making out of stuff. I don't really want to use that again, but that's always a default. There's this large border that is handy for hair, because there's, on a portrait, looking at a humanoid, people, not me anymore, but most people, there's way more hair than there's anything else. And shampoo companies want to remind you of that by selling you all this stuff. But it's interesting just what I have to work with. Now this diploma, there's a lot of nothing going on here with Columbia. university. God, these things are boring. No wonder, when the Harvard and Smith College and Tufts and MIT, sometimes they did them in Latin, which made them a little less dumb because you couldn't read them. To all persons to whom these presents may come greeting, be it known that. Okay, let's try to turn that into a diagram that sentence. To all persons to whom these presents may come. So presents, is that the document, the present, or is that presence meaning I'm present and accounted for? Greeting, greeting. So to all persons whom these presents may come greeting. So is it like saying, hi there, all you people in this hot auditorium on a hot June day. Was it June day? On the second day of June in the year of our Lord 1943. Anyway, so this one might have to have this be the eyeball. Again. But do I want to keep all of this glue residue from when this thing was framed in a mat? Framed in a frame, matted and framed in a frame, and put on the wall of Thomas Paul Four Baths office as a chemical engineer in 1943, and hanging there forever. One of my, well, not quite forever, because it ended up in his house when his children went in there and removed things and sold things and threw things out. And they came across this picture. And what did they do with it? They sold it at a garage sale. And that's what they thought about Thomas Paul Forbath's life. So they ended up selling it to me for $1 or something. I don't know. I cleaned the frame up and I put it on a wall of an antique shop and tried to sell it. And it didn't sell, and it didn't sell, and it didn't sell. And it continued not to sell. And then I had it in my house for years, and I tripped over it, and it didn't break. So I couldn't throw it away yet. And eventually I thought, okay, I'm going to use the frame for something else. I'm going to take this thing, and I was selling it for $1 or something. I don't even know what little tiny amount of money. And no one wanted it. And I thought, well, okay, what are you going to do? If his children don't want it, if his grandchildren don't give a shit, if no one wants it, I'll turn it into a little mask, a little portrait. The reason I'm going down this diatribe is for two reasons. One of them is I posted the little typewriting ones on a Facebook group about typewriters. And a few people thought they were really cute and darling and sweet. And someone else said, I would have made a Xerox and used the Xerox to cut up. Well, then I'd have to cut down another perfectly good tree in Brazil and turn it into a piece of paper and plug in a thing. And, if the point is, I'm making art, which is presumably important. Scratch that last statement. I'm keeping myself from slitting my wrists. That and the fact I don't have sharp X-Acto knives anywhere in the house. I've got dull butter knives with peanut butter on them, and I could saw at my wrist all day long, and it wouldn't do any good. So the other thing I do to be happy is to make things like this. It makes me smile. So I'm making myself smile. I'm using something that I'm delaying the trip of this piece of paper to the landfill somewhere by actually cutting these things up that mean nothing to Raymond Wilkins' family, to Thomas Forbath's family, to the descendants of Dewey Houch, Dewey Houch, the 7th grade. Look at what you got in 7th grade. I was showing these little diplomas to friends of mine and on Facebook, and one of my friends who's a doctor, researcher in infectious diseases, said that I could use his diploma since credentials mean nothing. That's the other thing. These things don't mean anything because I can do my own research on juridical science. I guess that's law. Juridical. I guess I've never seen that written out, but or whatever whatever this person learned in 7th grade. No, the term ending. This 10th day. What? I guess it's all of high school. Sorry. Or chemical engineer. I can do my own research for chemical engineer. I can be YouTube certified. Don't get me started. So anyway, this could be a nose. So I get distracted. I turn these things into things that make me smile. Does it make you smile, Gorbachev? Yes. Duh. Tear down that wall. Bite me. Yeah, I took down the wall. What good did it do? What good did it do in the long run? So here again is another eyeball. This isn't speaking to me either right now. This may turn into, I may decide that some of these things are going to turn into something else rather than faces. Ooh, this one has all sorts of wrinkles. These can be, this could be an old man or woman with lots of wrinkles. Bella. Was that the same Bella that did the typing? Houghton, Michigan. I think it is the same woman that was the typist. See, I got 3 things from her. Her relatives that didn't give a shit. Bella. This is Bella. This is Bella. Brunken. Bella Brunken. Or Branken. Is that an A? That's a U. Brunken. Brunkow. That's it. That's a U as well, I think. N's and U's. What's the difference between them? Brunkow. That N is slightly more connected to the first stem. Yeah, Brunkow. Paula Bronco. This person, what's interesting about this one, the calligrapher chose to add the shadow on Bella's name, the same shadow you see here on the school thing. So, you know, that was done pretty well. This person, hired by Suffolk University, didn't bother to do that here. Normally you wouldn't see that. And here, you know, probably the teacher or the secretary of the school did this. It wasn't either one of these. Well, I don't know, their signatures could be different. What did Columbia do? The minimal amount of work for Beth. So by tearing these things apart, getting my little scissors and cutting them apart to make a little face, I mean, you can see how much, I didn't notice these things before, and I won't notice them once I tear them up. But that little factoid about the calligrapher of Houghton High School used to drop shadow, how important is that in the scheme of things? On a scheme on 1 to a million. Let's just make it, how important is this factoid? It's like 3. There are some facts that are less interesting than this. Okay, see, these could be eyebrows. I have a hard time doing ears too. They could be ears. Those are going to be ears. With maybe an earring, earlobe, earring. These could be yellowed teeth. Very thin-lipped. This could be a very thin-lipped person. Eyeballs. The eyes could be the O's here. Yeah, I think I can cut this one up. I'm going to take a picture of it first with my camera. Hold on 1 second. My Exxon Valdez glue spill that happened last night at some point. Reminded me of my youth. In grad school, I was using a lot of Elmer's glue, and I would buy the gallon bottles of Elmer's glue, and I would transfer them into smaller bottles like this. And I ended up, a bunch of us were hanging around in my studio, gabbing away about this, that, and the other, and there was an All Things Considered, or as a local newscast, and the newscaster was telling a story about the theft of a truck, a tanker truck full of bull semen that had gone missing, that had been stolen. And we were wondering, well, what the hell is someone going to do with a tanker truck full of bull semen? And they looked over at me as I'm pouring out this from this gallon of white liquid, and they said, "Oh, okay, we know where it went." No. Okay, are these going to be the eyeballs? Did we decide that? I think we did. So we've got an eyeball and an eyeball. We have ears over here. See, this could be a little bit of a sideburn going there. Do I have enough? See, if this is going to be if this is going to represent an ear, and this is going to represent, I could cut it off, or I could leave this, and that little bit could be sort of the sideburn, which means then that all of this stuff that was going to be the wrinkles. No, I'm sorry. Do I have enough hair? When push comes to shove, there's not that much of this stuff going on. You know, there's on this particular thing, there's a lot more of that. So I think I'm going to have to not have that be the hair. So what do I have so far? Ears, eyeballs, nostrils, ice pick, should this person have just lots of furrowed brows going on? I need a mouth in here somewhere. I don't want to always just do the same thing. Oh, I was going to do the mouth I was going to have these be the teeth. Hillary, or whatever the secretary's name is here. There was something about the yellowed teeth. This is kind of neat, the way the June was written, where the same pen probably that was used to write her name was then used to do that. So you have to sort of imitate using your big broad pen, imitate what someone would do with a pointed pen. Okay, how does that work as a lip? Is this working for me or not? Something kind of good about that. I think this person needs a mustache. Where did I see something that was mustachy? Where did it go? Did I somehow cut it apart? Mustache. Wrinkles. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Maybe no on the mustache. But I do have lots of hair. I think I'm going to use the the sort of cloudy frou-frou business is here. Now, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, Pierre, what are you doing? I'm going to make this be somewhat forehead shaped. Take the glue out of my Exxon Valdez spill here. One eyeball. I'm not cutting, as you can see. I'm not cutting every little bit of line work off, just because part of it is there's not enough hours in my life left to waste my time doing that. What happened to my nose? What happened to my nostrils? Where did they go? Okay, there they are. But I also don't want to be too precious about these things. I want them to be a little casual. Is that the word I want? Casual. I want them to have, I guess this is how it would work. Quavering lips on Bella today. I should have my camera closer, but I'm using my iPad too. Oh God. I'm using my iPad, and it's on this contraption that's quite balanced, because I think my iPad would fall off if I actually started pushing it around. I think I will put a mustache on this person, which means I need a little bit more room between the nostrils and the upper lip. So today, we have something kind of fun happening. Well, I don't know if it's going to be fun. We'll find out at some point how much fun it is. But my neighborhood, my city, does things that are rather artsy, and one of the things they're doing is called Ignite, and Ignite is a celebration of things hot and spicy or fiery. So the restaurants in my nearest sort of public area will have spicy food being sold. I'm running out of this stuff too. You know, I think I have enough, and then I end up having way more little. I did have one diploma. I don't know if it's one that I'm keeping or not, that had this sort of cloudy business going on around the name of the recipient of the diploma. So it was added after the fact, and it was done poorly. The fine lines were really thick, and the thick lines were not as thick as they could have been. So it just looked awful. How awful did it look compared to how awful my little portrait is looking? Well, equally awful. Look at that little thing on the chinny chin chin. If he's going to have a mustache, he's going to have a little goatee thing going on. Okay, goatee, nose, eyes. What is his eyebrows going to look like? I think I found them. They're right here. That could make a nice mustache, though, couldn't it? So I can use this. This is kind of neat. So you decide. You help me decide. Eyebrows. Eyebrows. I think this is gonna be the, okay, I think this is gonna be the mustache, and the eyebrows are gonna be up there. Sometimes my portraits that I make of these things, sometimes they're realistic and sometimes they're a little less so. It all depends on sort of not so much the mood I'm in, but depends on the mood I'm in, as well as what I have to work with. I think here, when they're, do I want it to look like this? Or do I want it to look like one could go like that and the other one could go like this? I think I'll do it that way. This person is a little bit skeptical. Like, what? Are you kidding me? You're saying what now? See, I could make them look angry. I don't think I want to do that. I don't know what I want to do. I'll make them look confused. There, a little confused. Okay, ears. I don't really like the size of these. When I started making these things, I called them masks. I was making them essentially human scaled, meaning me. I mean, not, well, human scaled. And a lot of these are smaller than that by clearly a lot. This is young child scaled. Okay, I've got hair to do. I'm not going to do sideburns, just it's going to be clean shaven down there. So here's the hair. I kind of like the idea of that sort of, I don't know, these little curly bits are kind of fun. I have to get my hair quarry figured out here so I know how big I can make the bouffant. I tried to put a bun on one of my people and I didn't have enough. Oh my god, there's more over here. This is nothing I need over here. This is useless to me. This is possible hair quarry. Oh, should I give this guy a beauty mark? Little dot. Do men have beauty marks? Do they call them beauty marks? Or do they call them by what they are in reality? Got a mole. Yeah, it's a beauty mark. No, it's a big old mole. The drop shadow. So I got hair to do with him. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking all of the parts that I can use for hair and I'm just leaving them over there so I can throw all this other stuff away. Not throw it away. I'm not done yet. You know, I'm not even the garbage is thrown away in my house. Because in addition to doing these sort of largish heads, I'm thinking of the possibility of doing small ones and doing them on top of this one. Is this one I was working on? Doing them on top of these things. Now these things too were often created for people's high school, and you would have these portraits taken and made and printed so that you could give them to your friends before you went off to the big wide world out there. Look at him. Purdy's Boston. There's one that I started to organize, and where is it? So I'm thinking that the scraps that I have left over, the small print, the tinier diplomas can be used for creating these. I suppose in moving the things over here, I'll look at this guy. He was just clueless the entire day. So, and this guy's parents, these all probably came from one family. This guy, you know, he's like 31 years old and he flunked out of high school. There we go. So let's go back to him. What was I going to do here? These were his eyes. Come on. Let me take all of the pieces. So these portraits you can buy, well, if you're like me, you pay way more than you should on eBay for them. But, okay. So we have an eyeball. Let's just glue it down. I don't have time to. Eyeball. I think I put it a little bit closer. I think I could have put it a little bit closer than I did. Oh, he's already unfortunate. He's already screwed up. This was going to be his nose. There was something with his little tiny mustache happening. Right? Hello. Scrat? Is it? Scrat? Now I have to have you remind me who you are again because I may not remember. And then these were going to be his teeth. He was going to have angry teeth. Okay, come up here. Robert. Oh, you're the one from, don't tell me. You're the one that wants, God, who was on your list? Robert, you sent me a picture of your handwriting. Don't tell me where you're from. You're from one of those Slavic. Hungary. You're from Hungary, right? This was going to be his ear. And you had trying to think who you invited to your dinner. You had were you the one that we did boy girl boy girl boy girl? I'm trying to remember. So where's the diploma that I was using to cut up to make this? I had it here a minute ago. This goes to that one. Ah, right here. Didn't you do Edgar Allan Poe? Who was the one that did the singers and the? Did we do the dinner party with you? Let me just start over. I can't remember now. So I've got this little seal right here. Do I need that for anything? He needs to have eyebrows. Oh, you had Edgar Allan. You had don't tell me his name. I know it. Vincent Price. You had Vincent Price and Edgar Allan Poe. Is that correct? Maybe he doesn't need eyebrows. Maybe he's one of those. See, he has beautiful curly sort of, I don't want to say blondish hair, but he has whatever that color hair is. Beige. He has beige hair. Well, it's nice having you back. I enjoyed our conversation that we had. How's that for an eyebrow? Is that too severe? I really don't have that much choice here. Well, see, this looks like this could be an eyebrow. He's like being a little bit he's sort of, what's the word? Whatever the word is, that's what he's doing. So this eyebrow could do the same thing, I guess. Well, this project is, I've revisited it. It's something that I had done on a large scale with what I called these masks. I was doing a mask show, so I'd make these faces out of old diplomas that people threw away because they certainly didn't care about their parents and grandparents' life. So they tossed them out or sold them, and I ended up buying them. So I'm turning them into something that maybe someone might like to buy for themselves. So how's that? That's a face that no one could love. Anyway, this is incidental to the other ones that I do, to picture of this so I can post this online. Okay. Well, thank you. So back to this guy. Fraternity, that goes with this. It's part of this. That one may come in handy for a different job. These go here. Undersigned goes there, I think. So let me put the ones that I finished away. So this one, what I need is hair. And I've got all of the elements for hair. Let me just do the jawline here. Yep. So how's Yugoslavia? Did I ask what you're a student, I think? Did I ask that? I can't remember. Sorry for not remembering. I don't mean not to remember, but sometimes I forget. Okay, I need another. Is this the same paper? What paper am I using? Yes. I think you said you were a student, but is that true? Okay, I'm just going to make this a little neater. You did. You did say what you did, or you did say you were. Did I forget what you do? Did you tell me? I asked, but did you tell me the answer? It's just. There we go, right there. You're a student. Okay, you're a student. Okay, so you were studying. What were you studying? I forget. Okay, hairdo. Look at that. I could just call it a day right there. Kind of like that. I'm going to call it a day right there. It's sort of, I'm reminded of, was it Charlie Chaplin? He had sort of wavy hair like that, but I think I'm also thinking of Rudy Valley. But it looks also like it's kind of a toupee because there's this bald business going on over there. So. Yeah, give a hint. We had fun playing guessing games, so we can continue to do that. There. Poor thing. Oh, yes, that's right. Architecture. Yes, yes, yes. Architecture, architecture. So these all, can I make another diploma out of these? Of course I can. Maybe I can make a dog. A boy and his dog. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put these away. These belong to that other one. Good. Okay. Now, this debris field, what I'm doing is I'm putting these things in envelopes. These are too small, so that they all stay together. You'll like this, Robert. You'll like this diploma. I was moving a bunch of diplomas around, and this one is about 2 feet. And here's one that's just like it from Boston University, and they were both in my possession. I was moving them, and the top one fell off, and it fell to the ground, to my floor, and broke. Now, how is it possible that a diploma falling 4 feet to the ground break? Well, like this. It just crumbles. This paper is so acidic. It's like pieces of ice on a pond when it first freezes over. There's a molecule's width of ice crystal, and it needs to be a little bit more than that so it cracks more than just disrupts itself somehow. But so this one has sort of a Gorbachev look to it. Tear down that wall. No, tear down that wall, says Reagan. Niet, says this guy, Gorby. So I have lots of diplomas, and I have some that are made of actual sheepskin. These are all paper printed somehow, but I do have some that are actual vellum, which I will show you 2 of which. Here's one. This is how you would normally get them. Are you still here, Robert? This is how they normally arrive. I don't know if this is, I think this is sheepskin. they're all rolled up, and there's a little ribbon. Normally there's a little, on the side here it would say the name of the student, so they made sure they gave the right thing to the right person. And I bet that it's got rolled up the wrong way, so let me just see what's on the other side. Come on, where are you? Yes, in pencil right here. Miss, well, how's the president of this college supposed to read that? I'm sure he had a list, a printed list, but this is vellum. This is made of a calf and engraved. Who would Miss Schnaker? SCH. Is that a C? No, that's not a C. Is that supposed to be an L? Gertrude. No, it's a T. Look at how Schnaiter. Schnaiter. That is the dumbest looking T. From Cleveland, the School for Nurses. Lakeside Hospital. 1910. That's the weirdest T I've ever seen. So normally these would, yes, Schneider. So normally these were given rolled up like this. This is very tightly rolled. Normally they were not so tight. They were like this big around. And then they would go to be framed and matted and put in the thing, and they'd be flattened out. So this was girls' high school. Now, I don't know whether this is vellum again. You can tell by the feel of it. I imagine that this was printed on a larger piece, and the person, maybe the edge was ripped or ugly, and they decided to cut it out, and they cut around the edges here. Girls High School, with the little electricity bolts coming out there. Fannie Dean Williams. This diploma. City of Atlanta. What is the date? June 8th, 1891. Fortier Fideliter Feliciter. So strength, fidelity, felicity. The word this could have been centered underneath that, this and that. Here's another one. This one was framed and then left in the basement where it got wet and then dried out, and then probably got wet again 2 or 3 times before. And it was in the frame, so it wrinkled like this. And I love the ones that are damaged like this. I find them really, really fun. So I have a collection of I don't know, maybe 30 diplomas that are on vellum, and I'm not gonna cut these up. New York University, 1914. Master of Pedagogy, Pedagogy, School of Pedagogy, Master of Pedagogy. Do you want me to make a list of what I collect? It's more than just that. And the word collection isn't quite the right word. I just have a bunch. So let's get my ink out. Let's get this pen out. I'll make a list of the things I collect. That I have more than, the things that I have more than 10 of. Well, let's make it harder. That more than 25 of. So pens tops the list. Oh, probably I may have more books. I don't really collect books. I just have lots of books. Diplomas. Binoculars. Looking around here. Erector sets. I have lots of games, different kinds of old games, word games, children's games, things like that. Typewriters. I have about 30 of those. Drafting sets. Want to see a nice drafting set since you're Mr. Architect, you. Building blocks. But they're not just regular building blocks, they're antique stone ones. I'd show you a set, but they're too hard to get to. Molecular model kits. I have a lot of those. And I use them to create things. A lot of the things I have, I use to create things. I also have a collection of, a couple of dozen of these thermometers. This is a rectal thermometer. Just shove it right in. No, it's not a rectal thermometer. That would be one that would be hanging outside next to the hummingbird feeder. This should be, yes, this is a drafting set. This is a little map thing you put on a map, and the back wheel got broken, but the front wheel. I have a collection of slide rules. And then I have a collection of these things. And actually, let me show you that because I know where they are. They're right here in my little. So I've got, I don't know, 100 of these. In wood boxes, and there's one right here in front of me if I can figure out where I put it. I had it right. I thought I put it right there. But I didn't, Blanche. I don't know where I put it. But you can't, Blanche, you can't. And here's an actual carrying case. So this was a drawer of a drafting table, I guess, that I don't have. And you'd unlock the key and you'd slide out your various scales. And you'd take the scale you wanted and draw your drawing. One of my favorite slide rules is this one. It starts here. It goes all the way to here. So it's a long slide rule. But what's nice about this one is it has, you know, this scale. This is like the simplest slide rules is this one right here. And some of them have a couple more scales above and below, but this is the simplest slide rule used for multiplication and division and the square root and square of. But wait, there's more. You flip it over and you've got all of this nonsense. Normally, a slide rule has two sides, 1 and 2. Sometimes the slidey bit, the slidey bit, is, part of the two faces. But this particular one, look what it does. You can pull this out and you can turn it over. And you have a different ability to do different things. You can't do that on a regular slide rule because it won't work. But this one, because there are actually two slidey bits, both double-sided. One goes to this side, one goes to this side. But in addition to all of this, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides essentially, because you can flip these things around, 4 sides. Plus, it has something here and all sorts of shit over here. So you're doing a calculation on this side. You're moving this thing around. This little slidey bit, it has like 25 screws holding it together. Not 25. It has 4, 8, 4, 8, and 6, 14. 8. It has 18 screws holding it together. So you can go from here. You're doing your calculations here. You can go from here to either up here or over here. You can read what it says. You could probably go on the back too. So you can do all sorts of shit. I love this thing. I paid $12 for it. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. Very happy when I bought that one. Oh, see, I have collections of other things that I love Tinker Toys and building blocks, and I create things out of them, or I just play with them. I have a collection of boat models, wooden, handmade boat models. I have a collection of flags. There's flags all over my studio, hanging. Just looking behind me here to see if I can see anything else I collect that I can, yes, I have a collection of all sorts of stuff. Clemente Santos V, are you still here? Have we played the dinner party game with Clemente? Kitty? Tina? I have a collection of tripods, and it's not an intelligent collection. It's just I like tripods, and I've taken them. Getting a slide rule. Kitty, I'm going to take you, Scrap, Robert, Kitty, like, to my flustercuck. You can't even see the shit that I collect. I collect T-squares. I have a bouquet of T-squares somewhere in my house. I forget where I put it. Where's my collection of T-squares? It's right there. I didn't forget. I made a bouquet of T-squares. Is there a way I can get light in this place? Dollhouse, dollhouse. Flags flying. Can't see because they're above me. Books. For God's sake. Cat litter. Okay. If a thief tried to get into my house, they would, if they didn't trip and break their neck, they would bump into something and get tetanus. Cat, I can't help you. I can't eat your food for you, Kitty. My cat requires. Kitty, where are you? Go. There's food right here, Kitty. Eat your food. Like, yeah, I know. I'm petting you. Oh, what? Good kitty. This is my kitchen. They have pictures of food, abacuses, airplane models. Okay, get out of here. Okay, I can't see. Can't see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm moving toward the flustercuck, which is this thing. I'm having a lot of fun with this. It's a dental x-ray holder made of cast iron, and which you cannot see because it has too much shit on it, and I attached to it upside down tripods. There's, oh, and I also collect fezzes. I have a collection of fezzes, molecular models. Okay, just turn on a light, Pierre Gustafson. Well, fezzes. Here's a fez. A Shriner's fez that is glittery and frothy. I've got about 60 of these damn things. Here's some of my binoculars. The binoculars are hanging from a hook in the ceiling. Oh, I collect, God damn it. Yeah, a pocket watch. I've got a collection of pocket watches. This is like a traveling alarm clock kind of pocket watch. A collection of hats. Hello, sailor. There's some Tinker Toys that I made into a bouquet of flowers. Just added 2 disco balls to my cluster cuckage. I have many Victrolas. So there, ukuleles. I have maybe 10 of those. Here's one of my little ship models. 2 of them, the Queen Mary. This one opens up so you see the decks. Here's a model one here. Got some mannequin hands. These are all filled with pens. More tripods upside down with more hats. Cat, what do you want me to do? Kitty. But I do things with these things, like, for example, I have what I do with collections. Sometimes I turn them into interesting things. Sometimes I just collect them. Here's watches. Put them in a case or something. These are games. I love suitcases, old suitcases. Oh, there I am in a mirror. But here's another bouquet of that I made of women's gloves, evening gloves made of white kid leather. These are disc pens. Oh, and there's Tinker Toys that I made into a desk, secretary desk. Here's another white glove that can go in that. I made a necktie out of these once upon a time. But among the things I do is you still with me? Cat. Bless. I've made wreaths. Holiday wreaths. There's another one over there made of Tinker Toys. And here's one made of, well, rope. You can't see it. It's too dark. For God's sake. Kitty, where are you? Cat. Okay, let's go into the kitchen. Go back to the kitchen, kitty. Kitty, come here. Eat your food. You want some water? There you go. Tina, eat your food. God's sake. Tina. Okay, don't eat your food. Just whine. What does that animal want? Okay, I'm back here. My house, I think my house is interesting. I see why I never want to leave it, because I've got too much cool shit to look at. What are your thoughts? Could we make this? That doesn't help. I hate this kind of lighting. Never mind. I'm turning this around. I don't want to see myself. You don't want to see me either. I'm sure. We can turn this around. Cam mic. Back camera. Well, then I'd have to sell things. I don't want to sell things. I like the things too much. These are more binoculars in this bookcase. The he pen. Okay. I'm going to walk over here and put this, for God's sake, put this back on its perch where it was. I will show you if I can remember where I put it. You might find this sacrilegious, Robert, but you can if you want to. I don't care. I went to urban sketching last weekend, and I'm going to go urban sketching today as well. And what I did was drew in a book. Did I show you this already? So in Boston, we have a place called the Common. Sorry, Beacon Hill, which is next to the Common, and it's the oldest real part of Boston, really. And there's a lot of old buildings there. And I decided I would do drawings in this book about architectural terracotta standard construction. This is put up by some terracotta society. And it's a book that, of course, is moldy and no one wanted. So I do have typewriters. So I used this book to do my drawings in. So I may take this with me today and do more drawings. But this paper was very weird. I realized that I can't press down hard because the paper has this sort of coating on it. It gets caught in the pens. I have typewriters, and I can show you another time because I can't get to them. But I do want to start selling some of the typewriters because they are big and they're heavy, and I don't really appreciate them as much as I used to. I do draw well, thank you. I often will draw. I can draw realistically if I have to, but I don't like to do it if I don't have to. So this is what I did. We're going back to this place. We're going to Harvard Square today, and what I did was I walked around the block a single block with these pieces of paper, and I drew my progress around the block. And they were, so this is a corner. I turned this corner going this way, and then I walked up this street, and then I would walk 50 feet and I would draw the next picture, and I would walk 50 feet and I draw the next picture. So I eventually went around the block, and I made a little movie of this, but I'm going to go do it again today, except I'm going to draw the same or a different block, maybe not the same. I'm going to use this book, and it's going to be sort of like a flip book. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, like maybe it will, where I'm going to draw a scene, and it's going to be continually zooming in. And as we zoom in, we'll continue. It'll look like, I hope, it'll look like it's continually zooming in. This one did not work very well for that because there were too many spaces in between. But I'll show you the movie I made using that. Walking, play. So this is what I did, but from one picture to the other didn't work well. I mean, I can do it, maybe do one, move it closer to that picture, then take a new picture, and you'll see essentially where I left off. So let's see if I can make this. So if I take a picture, let's say I'm in here's a table with a vase on it and a flower. And I can zoom in to just using this one picture, and I'll just move the camera closer to get this view. And then this drawing will start with the tabletop being this close, the flower. And I'll do this drawing for a few minutes. Then I'll go closer still, and I'll draw the vase and the flower only. And then I'll draw the flower, and then I'll zoom in and eventually. So it'll just continue to zoom in all the way, even though, you know, I'll do 2 frames per thing. But I'll go around the block and end up where I started, so it'll be a loop. I thought what I would do also, and I might have time to do it this time, is to walk around the block this way, turn around and walk around the block backwards. And you see a completely different view. You know, you see, well, you see a different view. Often it's, you know, if I'm walking down a street and you've got 2 sets of buildings, one in the daylight, one in shadow, and there's a shadow on the road here. When I walk around the other way, you know, I'm going to see the opposite. That's the easiest thing you see by walking the other way. But you also see different things in the background here. This is going to be completely different. This area is going to be completely different. You'll see different details, different signs on doors, different cars parked. You'll see all sorts of different, you know, if this is a one-way street, you'll see the backs of cars only. Then you turn around, you'll see the fronts of cars. So I think that I'm going to have fun doing that at some point. A friend of mine is a landscape architect, and he talked about a gardener that he admired, who built a garden. Let's say this was the garden path. There was a path that went around. Say there was plantings here and then plantings all around the edge. And what she did was she built the plantings to be shaped like this. You know, they sort of were triangular. Maybe this was short stuff and these were bigger plants here. So when she's walking around this way, she sees, let's say, a lot of red plants. Red plants she sees as she's walking around here. And she'll see this, and she's facing forward, and she'll continue to see red plants as she walks around the garden. If she turns around and goes this way and she sees blue plants, this will represent blue. She won't see the red plants at all because they're hidden by the blue plants. You know, so she's walking around. It's like she has 2 gardens. Isn't that clever? Yes. Clever. So it's like those signs you used to see. I don't know if you see them anymore in America, but they were signs that were this is not going to work out very well. I should have folded it first. Used to see signs on billboards that were folded like this, where if you saw them from one angle, you would see a face smiling. And when you looked back, Oh, that's a neat sign. You look back and the face is frowning because you're seeing the other end of it. So you're driving toward the sign. I guess the sign would be in perspective. And you'd see something that looks like a face. And you'd see a big smile as you're driving towards it. And then when you look back, you'd see it frowning. So yeah, the garden thing was really a cool idea by building it in such a way that the density of the plants would be such that you wouldn't see through them. So these little tricks are kind of fun. So today's urban sketching group outing is going to be, part of it is going to be this guy giving a little course in in perspective, not necessarily 2 point, but he's going to give a course in how perspective drawing works, because a lot of people don't understand it, and he's struggled learning to learn it, and he figured out a way to be able to draw in perspective without necessarily having your rulers and your drawing table with you. You know, there's tricks that he knows as to how to describe it and to draw with it. So I told him, I said, well, I used to teach college classes while I was in graduate school, and a friend of mine who's a math teacher would teach his students use the quadratic formula and things like that using songs, where he'd rewrite the lyrics to a song and have it be the quadratic formula, which would help his students. So I said, can you make one for me about perspective? Because I'm going to start teaching that next week. And I said, but I don't know any modern music. He was doing it to popular songs by the Beatles and the Beach Boys and things like that. And I said, well, I don't know any of those people. I need something classical. So I said, okay, I can do that. So he came up with something to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, which we all knew. And again, he's a mathematician, and we were both TAs, which TA equals teacher's assistant, and he's a math teacher. So that's really all you need to know. He's a math TA, and I'm an art TA. The rest of the lyrics you'll understand. Parallel lines never meet, or so the mathematicians say. But in matters of perspective, listen to your art TA. Lines converging toward the distance meet at the point of vanishing. For in painting more dimensions, Euclid we are banishing. So that's the song. So I sang it to him and made a little YouTube video for him to watch. So which one did I do today? I did this one today. Did I only do one? I only did one today. And it's, how long has this one been? 2 hours long, for God's sake. And I only did one. Of course, I did a lot of show and tell. So Well, he was a very creative guy. That what the hell was his name? Steve something. Starts with a C. Steve Cass? Steve something. It wasn't Steve Cass. It was the other Steve C name. Oh, I did make this other one. I did make this guy. No, not him. Wherever he went, I made the other guy. So I was. So I'm gonna do these many drawings in this book today when I'm at the Urban Sketchers. And this book was made by one of my neighbors, actually the wife of one of my neighbors in the building. And when my neighbor died, she, in order to sort of, as part of the grieving process, she needed to do things that were creative. And she took a class in bookbinding. And this is one of the books that she bound. I have about 10 of the other ones that she had, because she then, as part of her grieving process, wanted to get rid of the things that she did while she was grieving. So I ended up with this book and a bunch of other ones. So I'm gonna bring, first of all, let me find out what kind of pen I can. The other paper I was using, I didn't like the way that pen worked. So let me just see if this is going to take the ink. If I do the book, it's going to be called Walking Around the Block. Around the block. Bleeds through a little bit. But it doesn't skip. The book I was using last week was skipping. So I can use this book, Walking Around the Block. Is this going to be a good pen to use? Should I take this pen with me? I always go through such trauma to try to figure out what pen I'm going to bring. First of all, how does this pen fill? Fills like that. Is this going to work? Give me a regular piece of paper. Why does this seem so scratchy? Okay, this is somewhat flexible. This should be okay for drawing. I want to bring another one that's more flexible. Maybe a little bit more. I'll bring this one as well. Two pens. this pen walking around the block. Harvard Square. This one's very smooth. The other one was a little scratchy. But I may want really fine lines. I may go back when I'm done drawing to maybe add fine lines with this pen. I may walk around the block and use this one just to do the just really dark bits, and then go back and do some fine sort of gray things with the other things. Maybe that's what I'll do. So that's what I'm going to bring with me. Okay, where did my coffee go? Okay, what would this look like? Well, I've got these big areas of I like those lines there are kind of like I think the background, the border is going to be here. Here. Her hair's going to look like shingles, I think, because I'm going to divide it down the middle. And sort of do that. I think that's how the hair is going to work. Sort of looks like corn rolls. Is that what it's called when you tightly knot your hair? Okay, so I've got to figure out the face. Why did I do that? So start with what do we start with? We start with the eyes and the mouth. And I don't have to do ears. The hair could cover the ears, so the ears are the least important. So I've got eyes. Well, it looks like I don't really have a lot to work with. I have a D, a big D, and an H. Can I turn these into eyes? Eyeballs. Guess they could be eyes. That could be an eye. And a mouth. And a nostril and mouth. It's right there. Look, got the nose and the mouth. Nose, mouth. It could be an eye. No. Well, we're gonna make. This person has a nice mouth. Not a very. The eyes are not as. This person does not have nice eyes. That's all there is to it. Some people don't have nice eyes. That's all there is. You know, you can't expect everyone to have nice eyes. It's like they're rolling their eyes up. There's their little pupil. It's right there, that little thing right there. They're rolling their eyes. Oh, for God's sake, they're saying to themselves. For God's sake. Oh, do I have to endure this one more time? Maybe I won't use these lines. Eyebrow. Eyebrow. I need a nose. Look at this. I think I'm going to make, as much as I like those little things, I think I'm going to make the O's be the nostrils. What do you think? I don't think that is readable as a nostril much. That could be part of the upper lip though. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to make Do you have pens from the 20s? Yes, I do. I have pens from the teens. I have pens from the 1890s. The ones from the 20s generally are black in color. And they could be red in color as well. Nose. Come on, is this, am I just going to have a line? I'm just going to have a line be the nose. Now, I did forget what kind of pens you have, Robert. Do you want to remind me? Or better yet, do you want to show me a picture? You have Pelicans, right? Pelicans, was that it? Here's a pen from the 20s. Do I have to learn that? Is that what I have to learn in school today? Rolling their eyes up to the top of their skull. Eyebrow. Just can't deal with this, you're saying. So remind me again, Robert, what kind of pens? And this person has lots of lipstick and talks very fancy. She likes using really big words. Okay, so now I need to put the back of her head and then all sorts of hair. So this is going to be her forehead. Should I give her a widow's peak? I'll give her a widow's peak. Should have cut this include this down first. Still with me, Robert? Folksons? I don't know what a Folkson is. What is a Folkson? Come on, glue, stick. Is that a folk song? I'm not really a folk song person. I like the crooning era songs, which might include perhaps some folk songy kind of stuff, but not really a folk song kind of guy. I like opera a lot, or I did. I don't really do much with it anymore, but I used to like it. I don't know about this hair. I had great plans for the hair, but it's not quite working for me here. Maybe I need to just mix it up sort of chaotically. I don't know if this is working. I think it will work if I take out some of the little tassely bits here. Sort of didn't want to do this. So, did I ask you whether you wanted to join me on cam here or not? Did you say you didn't have a setup to do that, or you didn't have the desire to, or what? Okay, what ears are is this person going to have? There's an L and an R. I guess the N, this could be an ear. earlobe. And the other one can be the N, kind of. Put this on this side. You didn't have the setup. Are you using a phone to do your, are you watching me using your phone? If you have a camera on your phone, you should be able to watch me, to participate, rather. Okay, this person has drop earrings. Earring, earring. Lots of hair. And lots of lipstick. PC. Do you have a phone? Put it this way. Do you have a phone that has a camera on it? If you have a phone that has a camera on it, you can put, and it can get on the internet. You could join me if you wanted to. And think of the fun we'd have. Come on, stick. Okay, well, I need to eat and also put on some clothes and take a shower. I guess I need to take a shower before I put on clothes. Let me finish these ears first. Where'd the other one go? Where'd the other ear go? The N. Where did the N go? Did I use it up somehow? Come on, N. I'm going to have to do plan B here. There it is. No, that's the F. But that's even better. Because the F is the opposite of the N here. So do I have it like this? Yeah, I think I'll have it like that. No. Person's very thin. Doesn't get enough protein and fat in her diet. Okay, where did the other one go? There it is, I hope. Yes. Which way was it going to go? It was going to go like, God, I'm doing it the wrong way. I'll put it here. Ear. I was going to have the points go down, but I think I'm going to have the wide part go down instead. And there. I think I put the ears on backwards. Why did I do that? Why did I do that wrong? Can I fix it? I think I can fix it. Come on, stick. God damn you. Stick. Stick. Okay. Stick to the thing, not to the table. There's my N I was looking for. Okay, let's get my little curly cues out here again. Top earrings. One. Two. Come on. You're getting all dirty. You're all getting all covered in glue here. My fingers are leaving fingerprints all over this thing. Okay. Okay, are you going to stick? No. Silver-tongued enchantress. Lots of lipstick on this person. So there'll be lots of hair. That'll be done. Okay. See you all later. Bye.